Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the WEXP Sports Show. We did take a break last week, so we got a lot of stuff to get caught up with from the last 2 weeks. I have Brayden Knapp with me this week. Brayden, how are you?
What's up? I'm doing good. Ready to be back.
Yeah.
Ready.
Yeah. Colin's not here this week, but I think we'll make it work.
Yeah. We'll make it work without him for this week.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We'll be happy to have him back. Next time, though, I guess we'll have to figure that out with spring break coming up. But that is a problem for another
Our future
day.
selves.
Exactly. So we're going to get started this week with LaSalle sports changing up a little bit. So some really good news for a team that struggled a lot last year in the lacrosse team, who started out 2-2 after finishing last season 0-15, which was a bit brutal. Yeah, it was not great, but they did beat Howard 21-4.
There we go.
Which was an awesome win. Yeah. So good to see them doing well to start the season.
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, I know especially lacrosse can be high scoring, but to only hold on the 4 goals, that's nice.
Yeah. So they got, I think, one more game against UMBC before conference play. So looking for a dub this weekend before that starts.
Yeah.
So just wanted to give a quick shout out to a team that, again, season just started, but already looking much better.
And they're 500.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you know what? After last season, you'll take that.
I think definitely.
So the main teams, though, of course, at LaSalle, being a basketball school, is our basketball programs. The men's team playing much better as we end the conference schedule. So they beat UMass 82-81 in a close game, but then beat St. Bonaventure, who's been playing pretty well this season, 72-59. Beat a struggling Rhode Island team, 84-61, and then lost to Duquesne, which was frustrating. But that Rhode Island win was awesome.
Yeah, that was really nice to see. That and then the St. Bonaventure, that was awesome to see them beat them. Because I've even seen one thing of like St. Bonnie's could be a potential team in the tournament, and I was like, and just for us to beat them, that was awesome.
Yeah, I believe right now they're fifth in the A10. So it's definitely starting to come more into form.
Yeah.
I think the most surprising thing is that Richmond is the first seed.
I know. That's kind of crazy. I mean, good for them. I have nothing against Richmond, but I mean, it's cool. I mean, they were in March Madness a couple years ago?
2 years ago.
Yeah, I remember them being in.
Yeah.
I think they were the last seed, weren't they? Or were they?
I don't think they were last, but usually A10 teams, especially on down years, usually somewhere between 7 to 11.
Yeah.
Typically. It could be very interesting this year if Richmond were to win, because you got Dayton, who's ranked.
They are ranked, yeah.
But they're second in the conference.
Yep.
And then you've got a couple other teams fighting it out. VCU right now is third, and then you've got Loyola Chicago third, and then VCU's fourth. So that makes it kind of interesting.
Dude, Loyola, they were so bad last season too. I remember looking at them. It's just they were horrible. But I mean, I guess good for them now.
They're a weird team, though.
They are a weird team.
Because
I mean, remember that run that they had? That was awesome. Yeah. That was crazy.
Yeah, so we'll see if they can make a run. Obviously, we hope that LaSalle could be better than they were. Right now, they're still in the last 10, currently at 13th, so they will be playing. It's hard to see them getting out that the last 10 or last 6, I guess you would call it. So they'll definitely be playing the first day, it looks like. And at this point, they'll be playing Rhode Island, which as we said,
we beat them. It's a beatable game. I mean, all of them. They definitely could beat any of them, but we just got to be on our day, and we can't be losing to stupid games like Duquesne when you just came off of a nice win streak against 2 pretty good teams. This was annoying, but
and I mean, I think the most frustrating part about that loss, other than it being a loss after a good run, is that Duquesne was 9th, so you beat them, you then have a really winnable game like we said coming up, and then Loyola Chicago I think will be a bit of a struggle to win that one. But they're playing George Washington, who's below them, so they could have won 5 straight before Loyola Chicago, possibly gotten out of that last 6 in. So at this point, there's not really a good path, which is kind of frustrating.
No, that is a little frustrating. I mean, there's always, I guess, a chance of us doing at least like kind of last season, at least going a little far in the A10 championship, but it's probably not going to be anything that special, unfortunately.
Yeah. A couple guys I want to give a shout out. Rokas Syracuse, who we've criticized a little bit for.
Colin has gotten him.
Yeah.
Colin has gotten him. I'll call him out.
Yes, but hey, he scored his career high.
That's right. He heard Colin chirping.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? This Colin guy, I gotta play better. That's what happened.
I think you're right. That's definitely what happened. Hey, if there's people listening to the show, I'm happy to know that, especially if it is someone from the basketball team. And then Dason Shepard had a really good game as well.
Yeah, he did. I like watching him play, man.
Yeah.
He's a great player.
He reminds me so much of and not in the same way because Obi Toppin was a little bit bigger, but Shep has those types of plays.
Mm-hmm.
Those dunks that remind me of what Obi Toppin used to do.
I can kind of see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of get where you're going out there.
Yeah. The thing is, I feel like that he could develop into a better shooter than Obi ever was, which could be really beneficial to him. And he's still an underclassman as well, which is really good for the team.
Yeah, that is really nice. You just gotta hope he stays.
I know.
That's the only big thing, especially a school like LaSalle. We're not the biggest, unfortunately. It just is what it is, and unfortunately, there could be offers elsewhere. I mean, we obviously never know, but he's playing pretty good. He's been one of the best players.
He is playing really well.
So I mean, there might be someone that looking to get him on the transfer, but that's for our sake. Hope not.
You hope not. Yeah, that transfer portal is definitely a problem for a school like LaSalle.
It gets crazy. Well, for especially basketball and for football, it gets crazier every year, dude. Yeah. Transfer portal.
I know, and especially now. So here's something interesting, and we'll get into this a little bit with NCAA 25 coming out, which we'll talk about at the end. But this is really big news for college football. Could there potentially be a college basketball game, do you think, to come back?
I think it also depends on the success of this game, the new game coming out. But I think a lot of people, including me, are 100% with it. I mean, that would be so awesome. I mean, I know the basketball games weren't as popular as the football games, but they were still fun games to play. And I feel like, especially if this actually goes well, I think it won't be right away, but a couple years down the line, I don't think it's not that unreasonable.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue would be the amount of college basketball teams.
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, there's a crazy amount of basketball teams.
I think it's over 300.
Yeah, so that's the only thing, getting the license and all that. It's just, I mean, what they would probably do is the smaller schools, who are in the smaller conferences, probably they would just make up players. They would still have the team themselves, but be fake players, which kind of sucks, but also, I don't know, to make the game work, I don't know, but
it would be too much money to dish out to everyone.
It'd be too much money, and this is EA Sports we're talking about. Everyone in the video game world knows how frustrating they are as a company, but that's whatever. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, for sure. For sure we will. So before we wrap up this section of the show, the LaSalle women's team, it's been a little bit of a rough ending. So they started out
a little bit,
all right, and then have gone on an 8-game losing streak. Some of the games have been really bad. That loss to St. Joe's, 60-29, was rough.
Yeah, that's
a couple other rough games. So they're currently 8-game losing streak, 7-21 overall. I don't remember the women's team being this bad in a long time. It's frustrating to see.
No, well, I remember last year because I'm a freshman, and especially last year, especially when I was committed, I was I'm going to LaSalle. I was really paying attention to the sports, and the women's team were better than the men's. They had a better record than the men's, so I was okay, at least the women's team's actually fairly all right. But no, unfortunately, right now it's just not looking like. Is that because was there any transfers that girls left or people graduated?
I mean, like I said, we've talked about it on the show. It's kind of weird because they do have still a lot of seniors. Kayla Sproul, who I believe graduated. I don't think she's on the team anymore, but we might have to double check that. But she was someone that was a really big leader for them.
Okay.
No longer with the program again. I believe she did graduate, and then they had a couple other players as well that have graduated in the past couple of years that were really good for them. So it is a bit of a learning curve, but I still didn't think it was going to be this bad. No, especially if you really didn't lose. I mean, if you lost one person, but if you really didn't lose that many girls, then it's how are you dropping them? Yeah, but I mean, it's sports. Crazy things happen. Yeah. And I mean, it was frustrating, the St. Joe's loss, because it was pretty competitive to start off the game.
Was it? I wasn't watching.
Yeah, so it was really close. Around the end of the first half, St. Joe's went on a run, and then by the fourth quarter, like, all of LaSalle's bench players were in.
Oh,
so
okay.
it made the score look a lot worse than it was for a while, but it is what it is. So hopefully the women can figure it out at least a little bit.
Yeah, maybe at least end the season off a couple wins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a complete. Well, I mean, unfortunately, like, doing anything like into the tournament, obviously we know it's definitely not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least end it off all right, and then kind of look forward to next season. But yeah, we hope to get some wins here soon, though.
Yeah.
And off season strong.
We'll see if that happens. In the men's team, we're really just looking to see if they can beat George Washington, be competitive against Loyola before conference tournament, which starts in Brooklyn in a couple weeks. I'm hoping to go to the first day to see them play, but
you want to travel? Go to Brooklyn?
So, yeah, the plan is I'm going to go to Brooklyn. It seemed like that LaSalle's going to play the first day, so they start off on Tuesday, and then Wednesday go to AC for the Metro Atlantic.
Interesting.
So a couple of different tournaments back-to-back days, but we're still in the planning stages of that, so I'll definitely report after spring break if any of that came to fruition. Yeah. So we're going to go to the Philadelphia sports teams now. Brayden, I know you're not the biggest baseball guy.
Yeah.
But Phillies did start spring training. Yeah, it's good to see. Weather's warming up, so it's good baseball weather here in the Philadelphia area.
Yeah, it's not bad today.
No, pretty warm. And then we got the Phillies starting off pretty hot. You got Christian Pache, who's right now looking at, it's a utility outfielder, but he's batting .429 with a couple of home runs, 2 RBIs.
Yeah.
They are playing right now in a split game, so I know Wheeler and a bunch of starters are playing in the one in their home stadium in Clearwater, and then I forget where the team traveled to the split team. So definitely keep updates on that. And then you got Schwarber batting leadoff today, I know, in the home game. And he's batted leadoff a couple times, but he did bat fourth in another game.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see where he lines up. And I think...
I am too, yeah.
I think it depends the way that Trey Turner played. Because last year he got off to a really slow start.
He did. And
I think Rob Thompson would have preferred to have Turner lead off.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like most people would probably want, but also, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of divided. So if you remember,
I like Schwarber. I'm kind of, I am a kind of a Schwarber guy, so I have a little bit of bias.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would be kind of fine with Trey too, but I don't know.
If you remember, because as you guys probably know, me and Brayden are on Sports Talk Philadelphia together. So if you remember saying when Shane was on, Shane Nolan, who's one of our panelists, and also my co-host for that show, he said that when you have Schwarber in leadoff, they win, which is true.
They do. So you may not like them, but they win.
Yeah.
So honestly, you can't argue with that.
The hardest part, I think, for a lot of baseball fans is that Schwarber, his batting average is usually atrocious.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's bad. But I mean, he delivers.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I don't know. He's interesting. He's an interesting guy, and it's an interesting situation. But I mean, it comes down to winning.
Yeah.
And if you win, you keep doing how you're winning.
Yeah, so. I can't argue with that, but it's just hard. I think it is hard for a lot of baseball fans when you see his batting average that he usually tries to hit home runs.
Yeah, it is true. I mean, I know if I was like super into baseball, I'd have a way stronger opinion about it, and I know that people have a real strong opinion. When you're not doing good, it's like you look at the average, and it's like, dude, what is this guy doing? But I mean, you're winning, so it's like nice that you're winning, but it's also like even more annoying because this guy's average is horrible, but you're winning, so it's like how are you supposed to argue with it?
Yeah, and I think that's the hard part for a lot of fans, especially now that on base percentage and OPS is looked at a lot more, which is your on base percentage plus slugging.
Yeah.
So those smaller stats that used to be a lot more unimportant are now becoming more important to people that are really into the analytics.
Yeah.
So there is a big divide between the old guard and then the newer guard. So Kyle Schwarber is part of that interesting debate between all of them.
Yep.
So we will see, I guess, as spring training keeps going, where Schwarber is lined up. The other guy that played really well is Aaron Nola, 2 strong innings, 3 Ks in his first outing against the Yankees, who I think is important to note, they were also in a split game.
Yeah.
So it was more of their backups that traveled from Tampa to Clearwater. There was some starters, but most of them were guys that are backups.
So
But
take it with a grain of salt. But still.
Very good to see from him.
Yeah, that's exciting. I know I'm ready to see how he does this season. I know everyone else in Philadelphia is excited to see how he does, and hopefully start the season off strong.
Yeah, I think it was important for him to have a really good postseason last year.
Yeah.
Especially because he struggled a lot in late games in the season throughout his career. And for him to finally pitch like this, with the way that the team seems to be playing, makes you feel a lot better. I mean, it is important to note that a lot of these guys are starting to get into their 30s. Castellanos is. Harper's now in his 30s. I believe Nola's going to be turning 31 this year. So they're still in their prime, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the window is a lot smaller than it was a couple of years ago.
It's shrinking. It definitely is shrinking. But, I mean, we've gotten far last 2 seasons. This season we could do it again. But that goes to see how the rest of the conference goes and see how Atlanta and everyone else is doing.
Yeah. I think Atlanta will be scary. The Dodgers are going to be scary.
Atlanta Dodgers are going to be the 2 biggest opponents for the Phillies. But, I mean, Ohtani's not that good. It's not like he got the home run. His first hit.
Yeah.
I saw it. I was like, oh, damn it.
Yeah. I mean, we did that later, too, but it's important to note now that those teams, I mean, the Cubs made a decent run last year. They just re-signed Bellinger. The Marlins are kind of weird because I don't think they'll be that good, but they totally overproduced last year and then also signed Tim Anderson for the White Sox, who I really liked.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's teams that are making moves. Now, I don't think like I said, there's only 2 teams I believe that are better on paper than the Phillies.
Yeah.
But if Harper gets hurt again, you don't have that luxury of someone behind him. Same with when Hoskins got hurt last year, you knew Harper was coming back. So that was your depth there. And I like the way Mitt Weatherfield has played. Wow, I cannot pronounce his I can't even pronounce his name. But the way that he's played, he got signed by the Royals.
Yeah.
He's played pretty well. So it's good to have him as a utility infielder, outfielder. Derek Hall, there's people that are going to hate me for this. I do not like Derek Hall. I think he's fine as a backup first baseman, but he struggled a lot to start the season. They got hurt last year. Cody Clemens is all right. So it's interesting. I think Harper will need to stay healthy, and it's something that he's struggled with. I mean, the year before was the Tommy John surgery, and then he got the surgery in the offseason, so I get that part. But now he's going to be playing first base more, which worries me.
Yeah, you gotta. Unfortunately, if he ever is not healthy, the Phillies are not in a good position.
Yeah,
he needs to do everything he can this season to stay healthy, and make sure he can perform at the highest level for this team. Because without Harper, man, it is. How do you want to think about it?
Yeah, it would be really scary.
It would be kind of what the Sixers are going through with Embiid right now.
Yeah, I guess we should transition to that.
And with that transition,
those
Sixers. Oh God,
it's bad.
Oh my
it's not good.
No, it's not. It's.
Yeah, so Sixers.
Oh no!
They lost to the Knicks, 110-96, which is the game I was at, and it was brutal. Then they beat the Cavs,
which we somehow can.
Yeah, I don't understand how we beat the Cavs.
We keep beating the Cavs.
Yeah, it's the only team. It's the Cavs and then the Wizards, who
Oh, well, that's the Wizards. Everyone should beat the Wizards.
So after that game, though, and it gave me a little bit of hope. I was like, all right, the next game, maybe it was just a bad game against these couple really good Eastern Conference teams. And then you lost to the Celtics 117-99. And then before that, you lost to the Bucks 119-98.
My biggest thing is that, especially, thinking about it logically, especially without Embiid, those 2 games you probably shouldn't win, regardless.
No.
That's even with Embiid, they're tough games. But to not get over 100 points, I know especially that's what you have talked about, is pathetic.
Yeah.
We got to get over 100 points. It is horrible. Oh my God! I mean, it seems like the only one who's playing right now is Maxey.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what was it? I think it was the last game. Council stepped up a little bit again, but I mean, it's like
I'm so tired, and this is what is also frustrating me, is everyone's telling me that, Ricky Council could step up and be a great player.
Can't.
And
No.
if we kept Jalen Springer, we would have been better.
No, Jalen Springer didn't even do anything.
That's what I do not understand the love for these Sixers role players.
Like, they, like, legit, they're role players.
Yeah.
So they do help. They do, obviously do. But, like, it's Jalen Springer. Like, let's be honest with ourselves here. Like, come on. Like, some of these people.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, if you still go through with the trades that the Sixers did.
Those are all great trades.
They were fine trades. But if you keep Springer as your main guard after a couple of those trades that you did, you're still not winning a series.
No.
Because, like...
Jalen Springer was not going to have any impact on those 2 games. He would have gotten, like, a couple more points, probably, but...
It's
still losing.
But the thing is, for me, I don't even... the points are important, yes. But even if Embiid comes back, who is your defensive guard right now?
It's true.
You don't have one. And people are trying to tell me, Springer could have been that. Because...
could he have, though?
He had one good game defensively, and people lost their minds.
He's like, oh, my God.
So, I don't know.
I mean, you never know, but, I mean, how is he doing now? Because I don't even know. So that's like, then who like,
He
it's
was
like, who
playing
cares
well.
then?
His minutes have definitely gone down.
Oh, yeah.
Because he got traded. It was on the Celtics. I didn't even see him. I don't remember him even playing in that game.
No. And I'm even going to double check.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely did. He probably
let's see
did
his stats
play,
here.
but not to the level where it's like, oh, man, we should have kept.
Like, I wish we kept Springer.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude. I mean, let's just look at the box score here.
Yeah. There's a couple of box scores that...
Oh, he got 2 minutes.
Oh, great!
He got a rebound. That's it.
Defensive wizard right there. Man, the Sixers really messed up not keeping Jalen Springer.
I think we messed up, man. We should have kept Springer.
Jesus, man.
I don't know. Maybe people just like him for his looks or something, I guess. That's probably why.
I don't know.
That's what, like, so I'm from Denver.
Yeah.
And obviously Nuggets won last season. And, like, a big, like, hype player, especially, like all, like, the, like, teenagers, was Christian Braun.
Yeah.
When, I mean, he had, like, an okay game, whatever, in that one game. But, like, overall, he ain't doing anything. Like, he's doing nothing. But everyone's like, oh, my God, Christian Braun. Like, I love it. And it's like, this guy does nothing.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
So, and the other thing, too, it's like, my only other issue that I have is maybe you should have kept Pat Bev only because, for defensive reasons.
I would have liked to keep Pat Bev, honestly.
Because now, this is the issue you're at. You don't have a defensive guard.
No, you don't.
And I look, Maxi's awesome. He scored 32 against the Celtics.
He's the one that's really keeping us in these games, but we got to have a defensive guard.
Yeah. He's just not there yet. He doesn't have the size.
Mm-mm.
And that's the thing with the 2001 Sixers, is that, yes, they didn't have a lot of great players outside of Iverson, but you had Mutombo, who was a great defensive center.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Snow stepped up when he had to in defense. Like, there was defensive players around him that you could get away with Iverson not being a great defensive player, but able to drop 50 when he had to.
Yeah, Jesus. Literally.
With this team, Maxey could still drop 50 like he did against the Jazz, and without Embiid, it's going to be a close game because there's no one that can defensively step up.
No. That's what was the issue, like, especially going and playing the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to guard Giannis?
Giannis.
Like, no one. Like, no one. So that's why, like, going into it, I was like, okay, we're probably going to lose, and Giannis will probably at least get 30 points, which he did, I'm pretty sure. I think he got, like, 31 or 32. So, I mean, I knew that going in. It's just, you would like to have done a little bit better, but, what?
Yeah, it's not looking good for the Sixers.
No.
The only other big announcement by them is that Joel Embiid is announced as the starting center for Team USA.
Which is crazy, because he's from Cameroon. Which that is a big thing in soccer, too,
Mm-hmm.
is that people play for national teams even though they weren't born in that actual nation. They just have connection to it, whether they played there for 10 plus years or like their family members, whatever. I think it's kind of cool. I mean, the U.S. I would like to see them like go back to like back in the old days when like all the great best players like Michael, like Larry Bird, like all of them on the same team.
Yeah.
Like that's sick. So I'm glad like all the best players are going to be on US who can play for the US. I'm excited for it, and they need it after that last. What was it? They lost to they lost to France or whatever.
They lost a couple of bad games. Yeah.
Yeah, and this was. I mean, it was bad, man.
The thing is that worries me is that Embiid is still going to be coming back. Like, you hope that he's ready for the playoffs. If the Sixers can still lip in, which at this point it's not a given.
How even like, I wasn't even like a thought like a month,
No.
like 2 months ago. I was like, no, we're definitely going to be in it. It's just how far you're going to be in it. Now it's like, we might get a lottery pick.
Yeah.
Like what?
Not that bad, luckily, but that's only because the Pistons and Wizards and Spurs are not very good. But
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
your point still stands that it's not looking good. I mean,
No.
there's a lot of work that other teams have to do. The Bulls would have to play a lot better than they are right now.
Which they probably won't.
I doubt it.
Ain't Levine out for the year?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like, I was
you have
about
to
to
roast
say.
him, but that's basically it. So
yeah, they're really.
they're probably the Sixers will still be a play-in team, but they're probably going to be like the eighth.
They
ninth
better
seed.
be a play-in team.
Yeah.
If they're not, if they fall out of the plan and
Yeah.
get like late lottery,
Yeah.
there's gonna be not nice words on both of the sports shows here
Yeah.
at LaSalle.
Yeah. So, but I worry that Embiid, he's already been going through an intense turn-up from the end of the regular season to the playoffs, and then playing in the Olympics. I feel like that's too much.
You have a good point there. That might be, especially like, it might be a little too much. Just because I mean, there's other good centers. I mean, you have
Yeah.
just let Bam start and play whatever.
Yeah.
That might be a little too much for it. I mean, we'll see. Maybe
Yeah.
he can come off the bench. At least still want to be there because I'm sure he wants to. He obviously wants to be there, and that'd be a cool thing to do to play for the U.S. But I mean, yeah, I see where you're getting at. We probably shouldn't rush him.
Yeah. I worry about that a lot for him because he is the type of guy that wants to play these types of games and
Yeah.
is very intense when he plays on the court. He
Yeah.
likes to do a little bit of everything. I mean, he's a great
He does.
defender. He's a great offensive player.
Yeah.
But I worry that that's just a little bit too strenuous. Now, obviously, in the Olympics, you're not going 100%, but there's still the risk of injury.
No, yeah.
And for a guy that's just coming off a torn meniscus for the second year in a row,
Mm-hmm.
I just worry a little bit about it.
And then if he like, God forbid, a bigger injury,
Yeah.
and then he's out most of the season
Right.
or all of it, like, let's not
Yeah.
let's not play that game.
No, exactly. So I'm interested to see how that all plays out. And he said he wants to come back for the season. Like
He does.
he
Yeah.
believes that he'll be back before the playoffs start. So
Yeah, which
playoffs are in a little bit over a month, so he doesn't have too much time.
he does not. But I mean, will he get back? I don't know. I mean, it also depends on if we're in the play-in tournament. Or
Yeah.
not. I mean, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess there is that risk of just shutting him down if it seems like they won't go anywhere, but they still could make a run if he's in, so we'll just have to wait and see how that all plays out. The other thing that happened in this past week, actually starting yesterday and going into this weekend, is the NFL Combine.
Yep.
Some interesting Eagles news,
Yeah.
to put it lightly. So, one weird story, and I mean, we've heard some awful stories about the Combine. Some of the questions that players are asked are ridiculous and have
Mhm.
nothing to do with the sport. We've heard guys that have failed the Wonderlic, which is this big NFL test that quarterbacks have to take.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The cognitive test.
Yeah. So, but this one was a little bit interesting. So the Eagles worked with safety Cole Bishop from Utah,
Mhm.
and the Eagles had him shoot 3-point shots and mid-range shots. So it was 3 mid-range shots, basketball shots, and he didn't make any of them. I don't know what.
I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, I mean, my
I
guess
mean,
is that they're.
I don't even know.
My guess is it's sort of like, what do we do if we put you in a situation you're not comfortable with?
Yeah.
So, like, maybe because he plays safety, the Eagles have Blankenship at safety. What if we move you to strong safety or free safety or slot court? Like, would you
Yeah.
be willing to do this without questioning? Like, that sort of thinking? That was my only thought, because
I
it
think
is a little
that's
bit different.
I think you're right now. I think that's the only So the only reason they'd probably do that, I mean, just to see how adaptable he is to new situations, and possibly I need to do a little bit more research on Cole Bishop. I'm not. I do know who he is.
Yeah.
I just don't have a lot of knowledge on him. The safeties in this class are not like anything crazy. I mean, you have some good players like Kitchens, but I don't know. I need to see more.
He was a really. I remember. I saw some of his stats. I think he had 60 career tackles, something like that, and a decent amount of interceptions. So he's considered a first-round pick, probably later. So
yeah, well, that's the thing. The safeties are the top safeties are. I feel like there could be a safety. It would definitely be late.
Yeah.
It would be definitely late in it. I mean, you could see the Packers potentially taking a safety, but I don't even know if there's going to be a safety in the first round. I mean, if I was betting on it, like in my mock drafts, I have not yet put a safety in it. There definitely could be.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I mean, college students. I don't know with actual NFL scouts, but I don't know. I hope the Eagles do not take a safety with our first pick.
Yeah.
That's same with, I know we're going to talk about Edrin Cooper here soon.
Yeah.
He's another good guy, but I mean, I think both these guys are second rounders that we have here.
Yeah, I could see the Eagles trading that first pick if they think that some of these guys will fall to the second.
I think Cooper. Honestly, I think both these guys will be second round picks. I mean, I think if anyone, Cooper gets maybe picked up, but I don't know, because linebackers and safeties in the draft are weird. It's a weird, because I remember like the last draft with Campbell from the Detroit Lions. No, like people had him in the first round, but if not late, and if not like second round. So those safeties and linebackers are a weird position in the draft. Like especially in mocks, barely anyone has them like anywhere near the top 20.
No, they don't, and that's sort of where the Eagles are right now.
That's where we are. What, 20? Why am I blanking on? I know it too. Is it 22nd?
Yeah. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. Although, again, what you could do is trade this pick for an early second round pick with a team that will be picking early in the second round. So you could still get some of these guys. Yeah,
I mean, voice crack. I don't know. Because where we're at, I think, there could be lots of good options that could fall there. I mean, talking about at least corner first, because I know that's obviously a need. I mean, Nate Wiggins could be there. I don't think Terran Arnold, he was kind of there a while ago, but now he could even be the first corner off the board. But I mean, I really like Quinion Mitchell. You know him out of Toledo?
I'm not familiar with him.
This guy looks insane. This corner out of Toledo, dude, he looks so good. His draft stock is going up too. Okay. He looks insane. But him, or maybe we could even get, I think also O-line.
Yeah. Is
obviously a big one. We all know why O-line is a big issue right now. Some of our aging linemen. But I don't know. I think both these guys are good, especially Edrin Cooper. I do like Cooper.
Yeah.
But I also might even like Trotter more. I'm more of a Trotter guy over Cooper. I think there's a little bit bias there, obviously, because of his dad.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah. I think that from the way it's looking, I mean, the quotes that came out was that they put Cooper through the ringer. So they really were testing him out. They were showing him a bunch of film. So it seems like the Eagles are very, very interested in him, although I don't think anyone would be mad if they had to pick Trotter.
No, yeah. And Trotter, I mean, I was saying Cooper and Trotter are both like, they're like where they're going to go. Like right now it's bouncing between the both of them, of which linebacker is getting off the board first. It's going to probably be one of those two.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. I like them both. I need to watch their film more to really see who I really like more. But I mean, especially this. I mean, going through all these tests, it looks like Cooper might be the guy if we take a linebacker, second round maybe. I know that's because we have 2 second round picks, I believe, that are fairly close to each other, and a lot of mocks have Cooper or Trotter in one of our second round picks. So I think we're definitely going to take one of them.
Yeah. And even if they're not available, I mean, like you said, 2 second round picks, you could easily trade up early into the second round as well. trade down or up. So, yeah, the Eagles have a lot of different options. I think it'll become more clear after we get out of the combine, some moves that they'll make. The last story, and this might be nothing, multiple teams are interested in a Hassan Reddick trade. We'll see if anything goes through.
You know what
with that? Yeah.
One thing I saw this morning, actually, on good old Instagram, I saw this stupid thing that apparently, which could all be bullcrap, but apparently the Cowboys have interest in Mr. Hassan Reddick, which when I saw it, I may have said a few curse words, and wasn't the nicest, but if that happens, I don't even want to talk about it, but I know we talked about last episode. I hope he doesn't leave, but also I don't really want to re-sign him for a buttload of money.
Right.
So I don't know. It's an interesting position, man.
Yeah.
With Reddick.
I mean, they still again have him under contract for this season, so they don't. And this is what we sort of said is that you don't need to make a move.
No, but.
But I guess it depends as you get closer to the draft if teams start throwing more picks at you or better players.
And didn't the Eagles, they maybe not have said this, but didn't they say something about they don't want to they don't like getting rid of players for nothing?
Yeah.
So it's okay, well then, I don't know. It's, I know because I don't like to get rid of players for nothing either. I mean, I don't think anyone does, especially your good player, some of your best players. I mean, that's one of the most frustrating things when you get nothing for them. But also, you still want them on your team. You want them to play this season because we're still a competitive team. So you want arguably our best defensive guy on defense out there. But I don't know. We'll just see. I mean, you never know. We could maybe get something good for him, as you said, picks, players potentially. We'll just see.
Yeah.
When we get closer to the draft, April 9th, I think. Sometime around there.
Yeah, usually it's later April, so we'll have to double check with that. But yeah, it'll be really important for the Eagles to get this all figured out. The last Philly team we're going to talk about, I mean, Union been playing well. Also, just a quick point before we get to this, it's Whit Merrifield. Finally got it after stumbling over the Phillies one, so if you make it past that, I was able to fix that stump, but that's just a personal point of pride. Anyway, the last Philadelphia team
Here we go.
to play, Brayden, your favorite? One of your
My
favorites?
favorite topic, soccer.
Yeah, so the Union opened their season against Chicago Fire, who, although I'm not the biggest soccer fan, I do still follow the MLS, obviously, with the Union playing very well. And even if they didn't play well, I still follow them. And the Chicago, I'm a big Chicago sports fan, so I still follow the Fire as well. They have not been good for a while. But the Union tied with them to open the season. It should be noted that Andre Blake, who is the Union starting goalie, did not play for an injury. So,
however, none of the goals was Seminoles' fault at all. None of them were. I think Seminole actually played has played all right. But in the MLS here, the thing is about Chicago, past seasons they have been garbage. However, this season they brought in some new players. As I said in Sports Talk, Kellen Acosta from LAFC, just a fantastic midfielder, especially for the MLS. He got subbed on 70th minute, but then also up top, they got a new striker from Belgian Pro League, Hugo Kuipers, who's actually a fairly decent striker. I mean, at MLS, he'll actually be great. So to be fair, Chicago has gotten a better team, but still. This is a game you've got to win. And we should have won. We played better. We had 2 other goals disallowed. And the goals that we conceded were just stupid. I don't know. Did you see the goals we conceded or no?
I didn't see them, no.
So the first one we conceded, it was stupid. They got the ball. We got rid of the ball, lost it on the top of the box. And then the guy, Gutierrez, he dribbled past 2 of our guys who just stabbed at him, didn't even defend him. And no one pressured him enough, and he just shot it and hit an absolute beautiful shot, top corner. Even if Blake was in,
he's not saving that one.
Maybe, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
It was a great goal, horrible defense on our part, and then the other goal, their other one was just kind of it was just a cluster. It was bad. It was just a lot. They kept shooting. It was all inside the box, and they just kept shooting it, deflecting, and then just it bounces to the right guy. You just tapped it in. You can go watch it.
Yeah.
It looked like a high school game. That goal, it was bad. But going off of that, our teamwork has been really good, especially our passing. Both of our goals was fantastic teamwork and great passing and building up through the midfield and then crossing it in, especially to the second one was Gazdag finishing off, and then our first one was Ure. Great off the finish, great off the cross. So that's the good news is like our teamwork and especially our chemistry throughout the midfield. It looks fantastic. We've been playing really good that way, but just defensively, we kind of break down sometimes, which is the Union's biggest problem that they've had, especially when they were in the championship. That was their biggest problem they had against LAFC, just sloppy defending.
Yeah.
So that's something we just got to get there, which is annoying because Union has good defenders. There's some really good defenders on this team. It's just, I don't know, it's just something they got to work on. But as it progresses through the season, we should be better. But there's some scary teams that you know of. One, especially one.
I was gonna say, with Messi going to Miami, just a little bit scary.
And then the thing is with Messi as well.
Yeah.
He has three other of his teammates.
I saw that
from old Barcelona days, which is just fantastic.
Yeah.
I would kill to see him live.
Yeah.
I'm a college student.
Yeah.
So that don't got the money, but
no.
And then who they just added beginning of this season, his name's Luis Suarez. He's a striker.
Yeah.
So he gets goals.
Yeah.
So there's another goal scorer with Messi.
Yeah. I mean, this was what Miami wanted to do. This was when Beckham came in. He was like, he wanted it's going to take a couple of years, but we're going to bring in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was going to be like when Beckham ended his career in the Galaxy, right?
He did.
Yeah, so this is what he ended his career with a championship in LA. He was like, I'm just going to build the same thing in Miami. Which, for fans of a team that's been around and built up the way that you're supposed to, it's kind of frustrating to see this new team come in and be like, we'll just hand out money.
Yeah, well, I mean, their first couple seasons, they were absolute crap. Yeah, but that's just how usually, not all like new teams. Mm-hmm. I mean, Austin FC and especially Charlotte, and then St. Louis last year started off great. Yeah. But now, I mean, in Miami buying all these players, they're also they're buying a lot of young players from Argentina who actually are pretty promising, who arguably could be getting the move over to Europe, but they chose MLS in Miami with Messi, and so it's like it's understandable. Yeah. But they're getting more players now, and one thing that's being talked about in the soccer world is like financially if this is all okay. Yeah. Because they're spending a ridiculous amount of money.
Is there a salary cap in the MLS?
Well, it's kind of weird, and each league is different. Yeah. Like the MLS is different than the Premier League. Mm-hmm. It's all different, but they have a bunch of like financial fair play rules. Okay. And you just can't, like teams in England, I don't know if you're aware of Everton in England. Yeah. They actually had a point deduction because they broke financial fair play rules.
Really?
So they actually, what is it? It was like a 10-point deduction. So it's like, you can't break these. So that's one of the things. And also through UEFA, there's like a money thing. I don't know any of that. A lot of it is all financial. Yeah. I'll have to do more research on it. But that's one thing that's being talked about, if this is even like possible. Because there is like a cap on things you can do, and like how many players you can, not how many players you bring in, but the amount of money it takes for all of them. Right. But I don't know. That's a different discussion. But
I mean, unfortunately, the MLS, you can't get relegated for that because in Premiership Rugby, the Saracens got in trouble for that a couple years ago, where they signed some of the best European rugby players from England, and they got relegated for breaking salary cap rules.
They got already relegated? Yeah. They didn't even get like a point deduction?
No, well, there was a point deduction, but it was like a 80-point deduction.
Okay, so that's just like, okay, we know you're going down.
Yeah. So they were at, I think the worst team was at like 20 points, and then they were at negative 40. So basically they were going to get relegated.
That's so stupid, because then you even, like, before they, like, during the season, you're just like, why are we even playing? We know we're going down. Like, what? That's so stupid.
Yeah, But that's the harshest punishment I've ever seen in any sport for something like that. I mean, there was, again, another rugby, and this is sort of what's interesting between rugby and soccer, especially in America, is the MLS is way more established than Major League Rugby is. But there was an owner that owned 2 teams and had to sell off both his teams for salary cap
Oh my God.
breaches. So, yeah,
Jeez.
rugby's a bit more of the Wild West, but this is the first time I've seen an MLS team spend money like this. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see if there is any punishments that are laid out to Miami.
Which I hope there isn't, but
Yeah.
it's
You
a
have
very
to
real
wonder.
thing that happens.
Yeah,
Like,
you have to wonder if there's going to be something.
yeah,
with
because that even happened to a team in France,
Yeah.
a team in Bordeaux. They were in the first division, and they were like a staple. Like they were like not like one of the best, but they were like a staple. This team has always been in the first league in France, and they broke financial fair play rules. They ended up going broke. Now they're playing the third division, so they
Wow.
went all the way down.
Yeah.
So it's something you can't mess around with.
Yeah.
So for their sake, I hope they didn't. But
Yeah.
anyway, continuing on with Union, they're in another competition. I don't know if you're aware of.
I did see that. Yeah,
The
they tied another game.
CONCACAF Champions League. They're in, which so far they've beaten Sorpresa. It's a stupid Costa Rican team. Who really cares? But we beat them. And then next game, I forgot when it is. Let me look. It is on the 5th. They play Pachuca. It's a Mexican team
Okay.
for the Mexican League. So that actually will be pretty kind of a tough game. But it'll be a good test to see how well they play against them.
Yeah.
Because they're, I think, I don't quote me on it, but I think they're like a mid-table team in Mexico.
Okay.
I don't know. But that is good. That'd be a good test. But I think it's tomorrow or tonight. Tomorrow, I think. They play Kansas
Yeah.
in MLS.
Yeah.
Which better be a win. I hate Kansas, but only thing about Kansas is they have 3 really good weapons up top. Daniel Saloy, Hungary, Johnny Russell, American, and then up top, Alan Paleto. Yep, Alan
Okay.
Paleto. So that's the only thing about Kansas is they up top, their front 3 is actually fairly decent.
All right.
But when you get down to everything else, no.
So you just got to push with Gazdag and
So we
Duray
just
and a couple other guys.
offensively, we just do our thing, just
Yeah.
pass around them, get them just pass around the ball, get them tired.
Mhm.
Especially play through that midfield and get out wide, and then
Yeah.
especially those balls in the box will be dangerous for them because they don't have very good center backs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing we really got to take advantage of, and especially defensively, we really have to be smart defensively and not give up anything stupid
Yeah.
and hold our line. That is one thing we got to work on, but.
Hopefully Blake will be back for some of those games as well.
I hope so, yeah. But as I said, Seminole has not been bad.
Yeah.
But it's also, you want Blake in. He's a leader on
Right.
that team. I mean, he drives the players. So I think that also might be a part of reason why we tied to Chicago. We really didn't have. We obviously have some leaders in Martinez and Gazdag, who's a
Yeah.
leader in himself. But not having like your goalkeeper, who in like let's bring it over like football sense, not having like your quarterback.
Mhm.
It's like he's your leader on the
Right.
field, and he sees everything, and they know what's happening, and the keeper, they tell like people like what to do, what's coming, and they control the game, like they honestly do. So not having that guy it's a hard thing
Yeah.
not to have. I think that definitely goes into it.
Yeah.
Why we tied to stupid Chicago,
Yeah.
but. I think we'll be all right, and I think he'll come back soon. I forgot how long his injury is, though.
Yeah. Well, from what I was reading, there was questions about whether or not he was going to come back for that first game against Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like it's going to be sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
which is
will
a good
be.
sign. In other sports news, so
Yeah,
did you
the other
see
sports.
the Kyle Filipowski get run into by the Wake Forest fan?
That was so stupid.
So
I did
what's
see
your
that.
thoughts on court storming? Should it or should it not be banned?
See, here's the thing. I think court storming is awesome, and I wish like we could do it at LaSalle
Yeah.
here. Like, they'd be saying, like, yeah, let's go run the field with all players, but there's a time to
Yeah.
do that. Like you can't. You gotta wait till at least they get to like the bench, or at least like out of the way. That's the thing about it. Because I mean, you just hurt. Like, he's a lottery pick. This guy.
Yeah.
This guy is going to be a lottery pick in the NBA draft. You can't just run out of the field and injuring these players, or any player. I mean, any player. You should not go out of the field or the court, whatever game it is. You can't be doing that. I don't want it to be banned.
Yeah.
I think it's actually a fun thing, and it's a cool thing for like fans to get involved. Like, yeah, let's go and cheer. But you got to be smarter.
Yeah.
You can't be running into players.
So
That's
I've seen
stupid.
the wide spectrum of you should absolutely allow and everyone's too soft to if you run onto the court you should be immediately arrested and thrown in jail. So there's got to be somewhere within that spectrum where it's okay. My thought is that the moment that there's an upset, you wait 1 minute for everyone to get off the court and then you storm it. I don't know if you can control that.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Like controlling that is
Yeah.
like how. Let's be honest. How like especially like not even like especially if it's like for basketball. These are all college students.
Right.
So like you can't control college students.
No.
They're all crazy.
Yeah.
And then even professionals like I know soccer. That's a big like especially if a team gets promoted to another league.
Yeah.
Everyone just storms the field. It's a big party. It's awesome. So it's hard. It's hard. You only can control yourself. That's a good
Yeah.
life lesson. So it's like you can't. It's hard to control other like you
Yeah.
can't control other people. So it's.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation, man.
Yeah.
Did the NCAA say anything about?
Not officially yet.
Okay, because I didn't see anything. I didn't know if they
Yeah.
or did say that it's banned now or what. I don't know.
I will say if they do ban it, then we'll miss one of the most amazing videos that I've ever seen of quote-unquote court storming is that when University of Detroit, who did not have a win the entire season, won their first game, and one fan ran onto the court to celebrate. And it was probably one of the best videos I've ever seen because you just see this guy run out, start celebrating, and no one else joins him because there's no one in the stands. It was awesome. It was so
bad.
funny. But yeah, so we would miss moments like that. We'd miss moments where the University of Tennessee fans pick up the goalpost and throw it into the river.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I know it's always you can't do that, but like, come on, let's stop being uptight. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So we would miss all of that. Speaking of college sports and college athletes,
Yep.
Caleb Williams declined his medical exams at the combine, and
Oh my goodness.
no one can really remember a time where a player has done this, especially a guy that's considered one of the top 3 picks. And he says that he's only going to do the medical exams for teams that he's interested in, which is
I don't
kind
like
of
that.
crazy.
I don't like that. I mean, I respect that it's like doesn't want to waste his time and he backs himself and he knows he's going to Chicago. I think we all can probably now. Is he my favorite quarterback? No, but like he's probably going to be the number 1 pick. But you never know. I mean, Fark go off. Oh my God, they take Jalen Daniels first pick, but he's probably going to be that first pick. But it's just like that's a stupid move. I don't know. I mean, I think if you don't want to do the stupid cognitive test, then that's like whatever. Or if you skip the combine, even then it's like whatever. But to only like limit it to certain things, I mean that's some like Deion Sanders stuff. It's like no, you're not going. Which I mean he could. Caleb Williams could be a really good player. He's like, you know what? I back myself. I know I'm going to be fantastic, and I ain't going to waste my time with any teams I don't think I'm going to be on, which is fair. But
Yep.
also, I think it's stupid.
Yeah. What worries me about his career at this point is that if he says he's limiting himself to certain teams, it might not be the Chicago Bears. So now you're stuck with this issue that a lot of teams have had. Not often, but it's happened before. The most recent one is with Eli, saying he wasn't going to go to the Chargers. So the Chargers drafted him and then traded him for, believe that was the Phillip Rivers draft.
Yeah.
So it's happened before. The thing is that the Bears don't necessarily have to draft him if they don't feel like that he's going to show up because they have Justin Fields.
They do. But,
Who's-
I mean, all the rumors right now, it's looking like he's probably going to get traded. I mean, what they did say, which I really like because I like Justin Fields, is that they're not going to like hold him on to the draft. If they decide within the next week that they're going to take a quarterback, they're going to trade him, which I actually applaud for Chicago for that because they could very be like, no, we're just going to keep you
Yeah.
for this and be a back. It would be stupid, but
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't love it. I always felt like, well, I wanted to defend Caleb Williams, especially because he did get a lot of hate. I feel like a lot of unnecessary hate.
I agree.
But
Yeah.
at the same point, if you want to come across as authentic and don't want this type of hate, you got to sort of step up and be willing to do these things. Now, you're right. He could have absolutely just knocked on the combine and said, I'm going to go top 3 overall anyway.
Yeah.
Who cares? But when you show up to the combine, there are certain things that they expect you to do.
That's the thing. Like if if you don't want to go, then I ain't one of those people like you have to go to the combine. I don't care. So he should have just. I mean, you can't just go to the combine and be like, no, I'm only gonna do like certain things.
Yeah.
That's like, come on. If you're gonna go and you're gonna do it. If you don't want to do it, then just don't.
Especially because teams are looking at your leadership skills.
That's the point.
Yes,
You're the quarterback.
The Wonderlic is one of the most stupid things I've ever heard, and I don't think it matters at all how you do on it. Because the guy that did it, one of the best scores, was Fitzpatrick, who was a journeyman quarterback his entire career. And
Because he went to Harvard.
Yeah,
he was
exactly.
He knew what he was doing.
And one of the guys that scored the worst was C.J. Stroud, who just won Rookie of the Year. So yeah, that test means nothing. If you want to say you're not going to take that, fine. But teams are looking at you to see the type of quality of player you are. And if you're telling them straight up, hey, I'm not going to work with you because you represent this team, what happens if the general manager you said no to then goes to another team?
That's it. All the GMs talk.
Yeah.
They
absolutely
all talk.
do.
So that's the thing. It's like, what are you? This is, and I know also Caleb Williams has said he wants to get a piece of an ownership in the team he's playing for.
He's backed off a little bit of that, but that was another stupid thing to say.
That was so stupid. That's like, you can't do that, dude. Because no one is guaranteed to be good. No one, especially coming out of draft, no one is guaranteed to be good. Like even after, like C.J. Stroud, the Ohio State effect could have on him. He'd be really good, and then he could be crap for the rest of his career. You never know. So that's the thing. I don't think. I hope it doesn't, because I actually like Stroud.
Yeah.
I hope he's still good, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he'll be really good. To wrap up some of this college stuff, we mentioned Ohtani hitting a home run. That's really the only thing that's happened. So other than that, that's the most recent baseball news. Juan Soto hit a home run as well for the Yankees in his first spring training game. So spring training's going on. We'll definitely catch up if there's any big news. The biggest news outside of sports is NCAA 25, like we said, is going to be coming out. A couple of stars such as Jaden Milroe from Alabama, Nicholas Singleton from Penn State said they'll be featured, along with a bunch of other players. So the biggest thing that I saw, which is really cool, is that NCAA gave each player that's going to be in the game $600, which might not say is a lot, but when you break it down between all over 1,000 athletes, plus giving them a free copy, if you combine all that, it's like around $7.5 million that EA is giving out to all these athletes.
I'm surprised EA is giving that much, because usually they are stingy, and they never change any of their games, especially the sports games. Stupid, endless cycle of EA. So I'm actually surprised they're paying all these people this much.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they're doing it, because I think I know a lot of people have said, like, especially for EA, this game rides a lot for this company, and this game kind of like if it's a dud, EA's reputation, man, it's gonna go, because they already lost FIFA.
I didn't know that.
It's FC, like it's not FIFA 23, it's FC.
I didn't know that's why.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they already lost that. I mean, everyone hates 2K and Madden because it's the same game.
Yeah.
Every year.
I buy it I
still buy it.
I just got the first 2K game that I've gotten in 4 years.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get a newer version of the game, but I'm not one of those people that will buy it every year for that reason.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like there's a lot riding on this, but I think it'll be good.
I can't believe that we're getting an NCAA game before we get GTA 6. That might be the craziest part to me.
Oh my god, it's so crazy. But I mean, life is gonna be amazing once you have both those games out. Just flip-flopping back and forth between them. Now you have a lot of time before next GTA. Was that 2025? I think.
Yeah.
So you have this like a whole year to play with NCAA first, but. That's actually another thing with Rockstar. Like a lot of people are right. Like, this has to be good for.
Yeah, I waited too long for GTA 6 to be a bad game.
Dude, I don't think it will be, because I mean, you've seen the map and all that. It looks massive.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
I heard the one thing that I wish GTA had done is they combined all the maps into one game. Because there was a rumor going around that they were going to do that.
Yep.
And, Miami's going to be cool, because that's basically what they're basing the game off of. If you don't know GTA, they just base each map that they make for the game off of a city. So the last one was L.A. There was a New York one.
But also, like, it's not just Miami. Like, it goes out to, like...
Yeah, it's like Miami-Dade County and into the Everglades. So, like, yeah, it will be a really big map.
It's what, like, 3 times as large as the last map?
Which is crazy, because the last map was still pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, because then if you have to, like... Because there's also going to be, like, little islands. I mean, you have the Everglades, or the whatever, all Everglades and all, like, the land, wetland.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be
and then
crazy.
You got the Keys, too, because the Keys are in it. So you go all the way down to the Keys, so it's going to be crazy, man. But
going back to the NCAA game, like, there's a lot of companies that are riding on this. But you also have to think about the fact that the players' reputations now are lined up to it. Because if you pay for this game and it's not very good, and you remember that it's going to player salaries, kind of, it might irritate more yellow before. Now, maybe not. Maybe they'll be more than happy to say, like, yes, these players should finally be getting paid. But the players are now linked to it. And again, I think this is really good. And I do hope that eventually we get a NCAA game. The biggest issue for an NCAA basketball game is that, and 2K's done this more where they're adding the WNBA game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you'd have to add NCAA women's players, and at that point, it might be too much money.
That might be too much. That is probably too much, unfortunately.
So that would be the biggest reason why I would say...
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. That's actually a really good point. Well, because obviously with football, there's only men, but in college. But, I didn't even think about that. Because, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that's like, okay, the women should be in it too, which, rightfully so, they have a point there. Because even FIFA and FC24, they added the women's.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, in Ultimate Team, you can play as men's and women's.
Mm-hmm.
You can have the same thing, which I think is good. They should have that. But, yeah, that might be, because it's already almost too much with just the men.
Yeah. I mean, $7.5 million. I don't think that can be underestimated how
they
much
definitely
money that
can't
is.
pay $600.
Oh, no, there's no way.
$600 each. They would just be like, I can give you a free copy. And honestly, for like some like these, like let's be honest here. Like, if like NCAA whatever 2K or they come out with the game and they come to LaSalle, be like, hey, we'll put you guys all in the game, have your logo. They work out with the school, the rights, whatever. But for all the players, we'll just give you a free copy.
Yeah.
All of them are gonna say yes. Like at these tiny schools, none of them are gonna be like no.
Yeah.
And if they do, it's like okay, screw you. Like, you're not anything. Unfortunately, like you're not like no. Like Slack, like they're obviously insane athletes. They're awesome, but they have the leverage. This isn't like one of the big guys in it.
Yeah. And I mean, LaSalle's still considered a mid-major and one of the best mid-majors in the country just based off the conference.
Yeah.
If you're going to like the Missouri Conference.
Oh my God.
And like my dad went to Illinois University of Chicago.
Oh really? That's
cool.
Cool.
So, but they're still a D1 team.
They are, yeah.
If you go to UIC.
No, they have.
They're like,
no,
and just say like, we're not paying you anything. What are they gonna say? No, like people won't even care. I would notice that they're not in the game.
But also, it's like, well, who cares? I mean, at least you have the team.
Right.
That's one that at least you got the team. So, but it would be, So there's. I didn't even think about that with the basketball.
Yeah.
There's.
And that's the other thing too is that at baseball to do it, you need softball as well. So I think that those ones are a lot more complicated, but it is good.
To ask,
It is good to see that the EA Sports ownership groups are finally willing to pay the players something, give them a free copy, and be like, "Yeah, we'll put you in the game for sure." So, very good to see all that. That will wrap up this episode. Brayden, unless you have anything else to add.
I'm good.
All right, so. Yeah, we will see about next week with spring break coming up. Hopefully we'll find a date for that. And then when we come back from spring break, we got the NCAA tournament coming up.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Because usually the spring break lined up with the tournament, so we wouldn't have to show to like release our brackets. But now we will have a show to do that. So
oh, I can't wait for that.
We will have our brackets ready for you. We'll have to do a show early in the week before the tournament starts.
Yeah. Wait, when's the drawing again for the groups?
The drawing is Sunday, so the 3rd, so it'd be Sunday the 17th.
Okay.
So sometime before.
Yeah.
Because you always have those first 4, but those don't really mean anything. So sometime before Thursday at 12, March, like the 20th
Yeah,
or something.
we'll get our brackets
We will
in.
have our brackets released for you guys, along with some other news as well. So again, that wraps up this episode. Make sure to subscribe to the WEXP Instagram. Make sure to listen to this show, send it out, and yeah, we will be back hopefully next week, maybe in a couple weeks. So see you guys then.
See ya.